Alright, I've got something super awesome special for all of you out there today. I'm going to show you how to build your own studio and stream light that's going to cover all your live streaming needs. And this is going to be perfect for Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Facebook gaming. Heck, if you even do Instagram stories or anything for your fans on Snapchat, this is going to be a game changer. Let's go. Hey, it's me, it's Wild coming at you for my stream support playlist where I bring you the best tips and tricks. And if this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow and improve your stream, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and tick that bell so you know when my videos go live for you. And hey, at any point of this build, if you like the products or the services that I'm using, I did you all a favor. I put links in the show notes below, so make sure you check them out. One thing a lot of streamers don't understand is how important lighting is to their stream. It eases the task on the camera to produce a high quality image. It can make things look better by wrapping your skin in light or objects, thus making you more alluring for the stream, which is good because then people will click in on your live streams or your videos. The first piece of equipment you're gonna need is what's considered a garage light, sometimes known as a desk light or a hall light or a working light. These can be easily found at Lowe's or Home Depot, usually near the lighting section, but sometimes they can be near the tools as well. This guy will run you about 10 bucks. This is the large, but a lot of you out there will probably require something a little bit smaller to accommodate your streaming room. Generally, they come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, so buy the one that works best for you. The nice thing about these garage lights is they just easily plug into any regular outlet that you have, and try to find one, if you can, that has this little clamp, which is just a little alligator clamp that allows you to attach it to any like floating shelf, or what we will be doing is an easy freestand, or if you have an extra tripod laying around, or even just your desk in general. This will make it a lot easier. The next thing we need to consider is what kind of bulb we're gonna put within our DIY stream light. Now, a lot of people would recommend a CFL bulb, which this is what this is right here, because it's cheap, it's generally effective, and it'll work very nicely. Or what you generally have laying around your house is just an incandescent bulb. But incandescent bulbs are kind of a thing of the past and they're going away. And CFL bulbs aren't really the best because they work on chemicals inside of the bulb that generally when they heat up, they produce a light, allowing it to have not the most consistent light and actually not the most pleasing to the eye and your skin tones. So what I would really recommend is go with an LED bulb. One, it's gonna give you even flow and even current through the actual lighting of the bulb. And 2, it gives you a lot more options. But the thing that makes me most excited about an LED bulb is most of them out there generally don't get hot. And if you're streaming within a small stream room like me and most of you out there, heat can be a game changer for you because there's nothing worse than sweating through your stream. A strong key factor that people always overlook is what type of temperature they should consider for their stream. Now, when you get up into the big expensive lights, like you have some LED panels or the Elgato Stream Key, they have something that's called a bi-light, which essentially means it can be balanced for daylight or tungsten, which essentially just means you want more blue or you want more orange, or you just want something that's evenly exposed. And you know, let's not get into that because you can talk a lot about the different Kelvin temperatures and what's being exposed and what color spectrums being shown. Let's simplify this down for you. One nice thing that's been done in the consumer market is people just balance lights for either like a soft warm light, which would be more towards the orange side, or a cool daylight, which would be more towards the blue side. And both can be beautiful depending on what type of streamer you are, what kind of color scheme you want to have, or just your skin tones in general. For something that's like a soft warm bulb, this is gonna look beautiful on like mocha skins, or anybody that's got a slight tan, or even somebody that's got a little bit of like auburn or blonde hair. It's gonna add beautiful highlights and really make them stand out. And essentially, this is gonna create a nice saturation level across your whole stream, making you pop out, you know, from the other people that are in the browsing section, which is always good for you. A cool blue light is also beautiful. If you've got nice white porcelain skin, this will make you look so alluring and so beautiful. It'll also help things like if your color is majority blue within your stream, this is gonna help your baby blue eyes pop out really nice. And if you have certain highlights in your hair, like nice auburns or you're a redhead, oh my, this will make you look super beautiful. Regardless of which light you go with, whether you go with cool or you go with warm, you go with LED or CFL or anything that's incandescent, most light bulbs will cost you around under 5 USD. The more watts or LED or fancy things you get in them, of course they're gonna go up in price, but generally you can get any bulb for around $5. And trust me, LEDs will last you a long time, generally around 7 to 10 years, so that's awesome. Now that we've selected our light bulb, just simply introduce it into the receptacle there, and now we have to decide, do we want to do hard light or do we want to do soft light? Hard light would just be how the unit is now. It's gonna bounce off all these reflective materials and shine on a key source, which is you, giving these hard edges. And hard edges sound kind of intrusive, but trust me, having some harsh light produced onto you can make you still look very alluring, or it can even make you pop out from your background. But if you want something that's gonna be softer, maybe you're not really feeling confident about your skin and how it is, or if you're a woman out there, you generally want some softer light to cascade across you and your body and your face. And to easily do that, all you have to do is introduce diffusion. Now, if you'd like to introduce some soft light to the studio light that we're building, all you need to do is just buy this. This is diffusion, and all you need to do is just simply clamp it with some clothespins on the front and side of the dome there. So that way when the light passes through and it goes through this diffusion here, it's gonna soften up and diffuse the light out and make it spread, making it wrap around the object that it's illuminating. This is beautiful and easily bought on Amazon for like 5 USD. So now that we have our light ready to go, let me kill all the lights that I have illuminating me right now, so that way you can see what it looks like with just some hard light of the way that we build it, and with the diffusion on it for the soft light. That way you guys can take into consideration what would work best for your stream. So here we have our first example, which is just our light with nothing on it, and we're only concentrating on the foreground, which is just me. I've got one can light shooting directly on me, and as I turn, you can see how the shadows and the illumination change and create across my face. I have harder shadows and a little stronger highlights that reflect right off my key side. But if I look directly into the light, you'll notice that I still get an even exposure across my face. And this will be good for your main key source, but you'll probably notice there's a lot harder shadows, and you probably even notice the one on the background. So here we have our second setup, which is the same exact thing, and the light's in the same exact place. The only thing that we've changed is we've added one layer of diffusion, which generally knocks things down, so I had to bump up the actual f-stop of the camera here, so that way I got even exposure. But you'll notice as I turn here that the way that the highlights and the shadows come across my face are evenly more distributed due to that fact that the diffusion is spreading out through that light, and it's able to wrap more across my skin. And you'll notice that there's even a softer shadow behind me. And this is the main difference between 1 and 2 with diffusion. So for our first setup, all this cost us was $10 to $15 for the can or garage light that we have there, about $5 for the LED bulb, and about $5 for the clothespins and diffusion. And that's if you want that. So this whole rig only costs us about $25, and you can get it for a lot cheaper than that. But what if you want to have a little bit better light than the $25? Let me show you some cool things you can do. Most people will agree that having soft light illuminate their skin is gonna look the best. And you know what? To be honest, I think it generally looks best for most people out there on live streaming or YouTube. And the diffusion paper, it works extremely well, but sometimes it can make a lot of noise because it's gonna be rattling with the clothespins or if you move around on stream. So for an easy solution you can do, let's build a permanent filter that it has to pass through. And all you need to do is buy a very cheap acrylic sheet here that you can get at Joann's, Michael's, your local Home Depot store, and these come in a bunch of different versions. You can get clear, which will only knock down the light a little bit, or you can get full versions of frosted, which will knock it down more, equaling more diffusion, or you can even get something that's slightly opaque, which will knock it down a lot, but man, it will create a beautiful casting glow of light across your skin. One of my personal favorite pieces of lighting equipment is my portable aperture light. This thing is super dope. It allows me to do so many different things that I can use for boudoir photography, lingerie photography, fashion photography, or even just close-up portraits. But the cool thing about this little portable light is the fact that it has a magnetic diffusion of an acrylic sheet on it. That is just a couple of magnets that attaches to the metallic unit. So why can't we build this on the unit that we're doing? Let's do it. I'm going to show you how. When you're ready to work on your acrylic sheet, take it somewhere where you can easily work in a nice space, and be sure to take off the protective coating that is on the acrylic sheet. I like to score and slip mine with a nice pair of scissors so I can follow a line, and then I cut it out easily with a nice drum wheel saw. You don't have to cut too deep because you can pretty much just snap this if you make a good enough line by pressing on the lines. And from here, all we need to do is just glue in some magnets on the corners, or you can just super glue it straight to the dome. Now with our acrylic sheet on here, depending on what type you bought, if you bought frosted, opaque, or clear, you can do a few things. Now already the clear is going to add a little bit of diffusion, or if you even want to kick it up a notch, you can do the magnets on the corners and have it be a snap-on, snap-off. But for this video, I just hot glued it there so that way it'd be a little easier, but you get the idea. Now if you want to add something cool, like you want to add some fun colors, you can buy little party gels. You can get these at your local store, generally like a Hobby Lobby or a Party City, and these go on sale in packs all the time after like Halloween or St. Patrick's Day or 4th of July, and they're just different colors that you can lay in front of your light there that'll give you different effects and different lightings, and that's if you want to have them or not. You can also use these as background accent lights too, which is why it's cool to have all these different types of colors you can put on there for super cheap. So let me show you how the light looks with the regular acrylic sheet on here, and when we add a little bit of diffusion right on top of it, so that way you guys can decide what will be best for you. So here we have our example with our acrylic sheet, and the clear acrylic sheet will bump down the light just a little bit because it's still going through an element there that's going to cause a little bit of diffusion, but not too much. So I'm still going to get a lot of those harder highlights and stronger shadows across my face. But the nice thing about putting the acrylic sheet on there is when we add diffusion, there will be no rattling or any signs or any sounds on there. And plus, if you added the magnets, it can be removable for whatever situation you want. Here's our example with the acrylic sheet and diffusion on it. And there is no rattling coming from it because it's easily secured to the acrylic sheet. But again, you can buy different versions of acrylic sheets. And the nice thing about having the acrylic sheet on there is one, yeah, you can do the magnet so it's removable and it comes right off. But two is you can easily swap in certain gels to add different looks to you and your stream. Maybe you want to add a nice little cool blue, or maybe you want to do a nice warm yellow. Heck, you can even do a Twitch purple, or if you want to be a little funky and go Shrek with it, you can do a fun little green. And that's the fun part about adding gels with your light. They can be highlights for the back, or they can even just be accent or ambient lights like I've got going on in the background here. That's the fun thing about these type of lights, is you can do whatever you want with them. Now, if there's one thing that you want to add from here that'll take it to the $50 mark, at any stage you can always add in an RGB bulb that'll be controllable by remote. Or perhaps you own a Philips Hue and you've got the hub that'll allow you to change colors through your Alexa, or just from your voice from your phone. So you can add a little bit of color. So I've got one already plugged in here, and you can control it with the remote. So you can even do darker if you need to, or completely off, or you can do brighter as you get everything rolling. And it has a bunch of different things. You can do different colors like red, maybe you want some aqua in there, or maybe you want to represent the Twitch purple. And this will be good for a lot of different things that you have. You can use these as accent lights or fill lights, or you can even add them as like a rim light across your hair. And hey, you can only just simply turn them off with your remote. When building your own stream or studio light, pick and choose what you think is going to be best for you. For this lighting setup that I decided on right here, all I'm using is one 65-watt soft LED light bulb, and I've got a highlight behind me of one of those color changing bulbs. So that way, you know, I can have a little bit of fun with it when perhaps I get a host, a donation, some bits, or anything like that. And perhaps maybe I want to change the color to set the mood for the season, or maybe if I get a new follower, they can choose a new color that's their favorite. And that's what makes having your own studio and stream setup. You can build however you want. You can have multiple lights, and it's gonna be fairly cheap. Now, hopefully you can see how easy it is to make a studio light. And you can make your own additions or minuses from this to get in the $50 range, $40 range, $20 range. The options are limitless, and this is just a good way to start, because having proper lighting is going to make you stand out on all your live streaming platforms. Now, if you feel like you're ready to make an upgrade, or maybe you've earned enough Twitch affiliate payouts or anything like that, don't be afraid to take a look at a professional looking setup. You can do the fancier studio, which I've done a video on that, which I'll put a link at the top. Or there's a bunch of newer LED panels out there that work exceptionally well. Or if you've got the money for it, you could do the Elgato key light, but that's a lot of money there. If you're interested on how to make an LED panel that I use all the time for photography, that's only gonna cost you a few bucks, let me know in the description below and I will see what I can do to make a video on that because it's actually kind of cool to use. If you guys like this type of video and you want me to do more how-tos or DIYs for streaming and everything around video content, you know what to do. Leave me a comment below and thank you so much for sticking around. This was a long video and I appreciate you guys sticking in here and hopefully you learned something cool. If you want to help me and this channel out, you know what to do. You can go on and follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and if you like what you see here, you'll most likely like what you see on over at twitch.tv/wildforgames, where you can hit that almighty follow button and subscribe button. And thank you to those that have already started hitting the join button here on this YouTube channel to help me out. All the proceeds go back into making higher quality content for all of you out there. Thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you all real soon. Take care, all. Peace.